She checked her apartment intercom, thought it was a delivery, and opened the door. The man standing there had been watching her for 3 years. By the end of that morning, Rebecca Schaeffer was dead. Rebecca Schaeffer was only 21 years old when her life was taken, but she was already living what looked like a dream. She was a rising television star in Hollywood, best known for her role on the sitcom My Sister Sam. Bright, kind, and widely loved by cast and crew, Rebecca was known for being approachable and warm. The kind of person who wrote back to fans because she didn't want anyone to feel ignored. That kindness would ultimately make her vulnerable. One of those fans was a man named Robert John Bardo. Bardo lived in Arizona. He was socially isolated, unemployed, and deeply obsessed with television actresses. When he saw Rebecca Schaeffer on TV in 1986, something clicked in his mind. But not in a healthy way. He didn't just admire her, he became convinced he knew her, that she somehow belonged to him. He began writing her letters, lots of them. Rebecca, unaware of the danger, responded politely to some fan mail early on. She believed she was doing the right thing. But to Bardo, those brief responses weren't kindness. They were confirmation. In his mind, they were proof of a personal connection. The obsession grew darker over time. Bardo started collecting photos of Rebecca, cutting them out of magazines and pinning them to his walls. He replayed episodes of My Sister Sam obsessively. He talked about her constantly. Eventually, he decided he needed to meet her in person. In 1987, Bardo traveled to Los Angeles and went straight to the Warner Brothers studio lot, hoping to find Rebecca. Security turned him away. Instead of discouraging him, this only intensified his fixation. Months later, he took things further. Using nothing more than her name and a small fee, Bardo hired a private investigator who illegally obtained Rebecca Schaeffer's home address from DMV records. At the time, this was shockingly easy to do and completely legal. Rebecca had no idea her personal information had just been handed to a stranger. On July 18, 1989, Bardo traveled to Rebecca's apartment in West Hollywood. He rang the intercom. Rebecca answered and, seeing a fan at the door, politely told him she was busy and couldn't talk. She closed the door. Most people would have walked away. Bardo didn't. Instead, he went to a nearby diner, sat alone, and stewed in rejection. According to later testimony, he felt humiliated, angry, betrayed. He pulled out a book he had brought with him, The Catcher in the Rye. After reading for a while, he decided Rebecca had wronged him. He went back to her apartment. When Rebecca opened the door the second time, Bardo pulled out a .357 Magnum revolver and shot her in the chest at point-blank range. She collapsed in the doorway. He walked away. Rebecca Schaeffer was rushed to the hospital but was pronounced dead less than an hour later. She was 21 years old. The manhunt didn't last long. Bardo was arrested the next day. When police searched his belongings, they found the gun, ammunition, and the book The Catcher in the Rye, which he claimed influenced his thinking. He openly admitted to the killing and showed little remorse. During the trial, prosecutors laid out the disturbing pattern of stalking: the letters, the travel, the fixation, the illegal address lookup. Bardo was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. But Rebecca's death didn't just end one life. It changed the law. Public outrage exploded when it became known that her address had been obtained so easily. In response, California passed the Driver's Privacy Protection Act, restricting public access to DMV records. Anti-stalking laws across the United States were strengthened, with Rebecca Schaeffer's case cited again and again as a turning point. Today, her name is often mentioned in legal textbooks and victim advocacy movements. But she was more than a case study. She was a daughter, a friend, a young woman who believed being kind was the right way to move through the world, and she paid for that belief with her life. Rebecca Schaeffer didn't die because she was famous. She died because someone mistook obsession for love and was allowed to get too close.